Hi everyone, and welcome back to Rainbow Budgets and Plans. My name is Natalie, and then this channel we discuss all things budgeting and planning. We are a family of 5 in the northeast of England, trying to get out of over £55,000 worth of debt, which is insane. So if that is something that you do want to continue following us on, then please hit the subscribe button that is down below, and you'll be notified of any future videos that I post. So welcome to today's video, and today we are going to be discussing our debt as of the end of December. So when I restarted this channel and came back to budgeting, our starting balance of our debt was £55,256.77, which is an insane amount, and it's going to take us a long time to get out of this, but it's something that we are acknowledging now, and we're hoping to at least one day to be debt free. But yeah, our priority at the moment isn't to completely pay off, make extra payments to our debt, and that is purely because I am now on maternity leave, so my income is significantly reduced compared to what it is normally. So the next few months are just a case of financially surviving on statutory maternity pay. So paying off our debt and making extra debt payments isn't gonna help us now. It'll help us in the future, obviously, but paying off a debt to alleviate £30 a month in our budget isn't going to help us pay the bills as such. So yeah, our priority at the moment is just to basically financially survive. Oh, that bloody printer. Right, we're going to name the printer, guys, because you guys have all suggested that we need to name the printer, because it interrupts me at every single opportunity it can. So if you've got any recommendations for a name for the printer so that I can have a go at it every time that it goes off, then please leave them in the comment section below. I did like the idea of Prince Charming, but yeah, if you've got any other ideas, please leave them in the comment section below and we will pick a name next video. Anyway, what's the saying? So the priority is to financially survive through maternity pay, maternity leave, and basically build up sinking funds so that we don't have to use debt going forward, because in the past we've used credit card for things like clothes, haircuts, birthdays, Christmas, those kinds of things. So basically I want to build up a little bit of a sinking fund for each kind of category before we kind of focus on paying on extra debt. We will be paying off little bits extra here and there when we can, but before we start throwing all of our extra money into extra debt payments, I kind of want to build up that buffer. So we are there with our emergency fund. Our emergency fund is now at £1,000, and I'll show you all that at the end of the month when we get to the end of January. But yeah, so our focus is now like making sure our annual bills are covered, things like our home insurance, things like that, building up a little buffer for things like clothes. I mean, there is 5 of us, and at some point one of us is going to need some sort of clothing. We will be more frugal and we will try and get things secondhand or Vinted and things like that, but we still need some sort of finances to pay for those things. I mean, I've got 3 kids. Those kids grow out of clothes an insane amount. Luckily we were gifted basically a full wardrobe for baby Pickle, so she doesn't really need anything probably until she's about 6 months, 9 months, that kind of age. So we're very lucky in that kind of sense. But in terms of like other things like dentists, and there's all kinds of things that as a family we need a budget for, and we need to kind of have those finances in place, because otherwise we're going to have to resort back to using a credit card to pay for those things. But anyway, let's get back into today's video. So today we're discussing where we are with our debt as of the end of December 2024. So I hope everyone had a good New Year, good Christmas, good New Year. I think I forgot to say it on my last video because I am so tired at the minute, guys. I do apologise. But yeah, I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. Ours was very laid back and chilled. And then for New Year, we don't really do anything for New Year, to be honest. We stayed up and watched telly, watched a couple of movies, and then we put the fireworks on the telly that they do in London. So we watched those, and then we just went to bed. But yeah, Happy New Year, guys, 2025. Hopefully this is the year that I kind of get my life together and my stuff sorted out, to be honest, because yeah, kind of need to. But anyway, December 2024. So these are the debt payments that we made. I'm going to zoom you in because I'm not sure if you can quite see. So here are the debt payments that we made in December. Now all of these are the minimum payments. We didn't make any extra debt repayments in December. So as you can see, our total debt payments every month equate to £1,267.51 based on the minimum payments. That is what we paid physically in December. It's a huge proportion of our income is going towards debt. I mean, I would love to be able to put that £1,200 to sinking funds and days out for the kids and things like that, but we're in this position now, and it's getting out of this position that's what we're trying to achieve. So let's have a look at where we are with our balances. So debt number 1 is our red debt. Now, as if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I transferred this balance onto a different debt. So you'll see that come into play further down the line. But the balance on that debt is now 0. So technically we paid off £658.99 of that debt. But you'll see where that debt's then increased, another debt as such. Debt number 2 is our orange debt. So the starting balance on that was £766.45 and the ending balance on that was £750.15. So that balance actually reduced by £16.30. And you can see up here we made a payment of £31.86. So 50% increase of interest basically. So 50% of that payment basically went towards interest. So because red debt is now paid off, the next one to focus on is orange. And when we have any extra money to pay towards debt, as and when I feel like we can afford to, it will be going towards the orange debt. We're going to snowball them in this kind of priority. Yellow debt. So yellow debt starting balance was £3,383.48. And the ending balance was £337.11. So that debt reduced by £46.37. And we paid £80.66. So again, only just half of that went towards like the principal balance. I think there was kind of like an overlap because I did the starting balances in November. Before some of the minimum payments had like come out, some of them had in November. Like it all just got a bit confused. So hopefully from January we'll be back on track with the amount of interest and stuff that should be added. Green debt. So our starting balance on our green debt was £534.55 and the ending balance on there was £1,184.93. So as you can see, that actually increased by £650.38 because we transferred the balance from red to green. So because I had an available balance on this card, I paid off that debt. Unfortunately, red debt wasn't a credit card, so I couldn't do a 0% balance transfer. I had to just pay it off, so we will be paying interest on that. So that actually increased by £650.38. Emerald debt was starting balance was £7,287.69 and the end balance on that is £7,025.87. So we actually reduced this one by £261.82 and the minimum payment on that was £331.67. So you can see the interest that was added on that. Teal starting balance was £14,276.12 and the ending balance on there was £14,100.90. So that reduced by £175.22 and the minimum payment on that one was £247.97. Blue and navy, we're not currently making any minimum payments towards this one, so the starting balance and the ending balance is exactly the same. I've given these like colours as names rather than tell you what the debt is, but I'll tell you that blue and navy are family loans, and there's no rush to pay those off, so I want to kind of reduce some of these ones before we go to making payments towards the blue and the navy debt. Purple, starting balance £4,956.84 and the ending balance on there was £4,878.16. So we paid off £78.68 on that one. Fuchsia, £6,666.35 and ending balance of £6,537.21. So that has reduced by £129.14. And our last one, which is pink, I'm hoping you can see that. I'll just see if I can push that forward a little bit more. Starting balance £11,726.30 and the ending balance on that is £11,619.90. So we paid off £106.40 off there. So after interest, so as you can see here, we paid £1,267.51 and after interest we actually managed to reduce our debt by £822.54. So the total of our debt now currently stands at £54,434.23. So we've paid off a huge chunk. £822 is nothing to be sniffed at in 1 month. That's an incredible amount to actually reduce it by. But as you can see, there's about £420, £440 in interest being paid every month. So that's why we want to kind of try and knock off these high interest ones as soon as we can. So let's look at that in terms of percentages. So I am going to pause and get you into shot. Okay, so as I said, our starting balance is £55,256.77. Our ending balance is £54,434.23. We've paid off £822.54, and that's a total of 1.49% of our debt has been paid this month. So almost 1.5% has been paid off. And because this is our first month, our overall progress is exactly the same. So because this is month 1, the numbers are exactly the same. Once we get into month 2, our overall progress numbers will change. And then if we look at it, how much of our income we actually sent to debt. So our income, monthly income for December was £5,117.71. The payments that we made to our debt was £1,267.51. So actually 24.8% of our income went towards our debt payments in December. So again, almost 25% of our income went to debt. And if you think of that in terms of working, every 15 minutes of an hour that we work is paying off the past. So that's why we want to kind of get this done as quickly as we can. We want to get this paid off as quickly as we can, but we need to be smart about it. We need to prioritise everything that we need as a family. There's not just me and my partner to think about. We do have 3 small children in the equation. So we need to be smart about it. Like I said, we need that buffer to pay for things that we're going to crop up. The necessities like dental bills, clothing, things like that. So we're not going to go ahead and splash out on holidays for the 5 of us, but we're also not going to stop living our lives either in terms of making memories with the kids and things like that. So there has to be that balance there. So we need to be smart about it. We need to not go overboard and spend things on unnecessary things, but we also need to live, because we're not going to pay this £54,000 off in the next 6 months. This is going to be a few years in the making. And it seems selfish of me and my partner, who have gotten ourselves into this mess, to then put that burden on the kids and make the kids suffer, if that makes sense. So 1.49%. So if we pay that amount off every month, so 100% divided by 1.49, it's going to take us 67 and a bit months. So that is 5.5 years or 5.6 years to pay this off. Now, obviously, we didn't make any extra debt repayments in December. So if we keep just paying the minimum payments, that is basically what we're looking at, is nearly 6 years to pay off our debt. We have a goal to pay off our debt by the time our mortgage is up for renewal, which is March 2028. So 3 and a bit years. So I want to kind of half that. Whilst I'm on maternity leave, it's not likely, like I said, that we're going to be able to make any extra debt repayments. We were extremely lucky to have this level of income in December. My wages, so I was earning around £550 a week and earning that 4 weekly. So I was getting roughly 2,200 a month in wages, and I'm actually going to only be getting £184 a week now, so I'm going to be getting £736. So my wages are reducing by £1,464. So there's going to be a video coming out shortly where I look at our, because I haven't actually looked at whether we can actually afford everything based on my reduction in income. So the video that's going to be coming out shortly is going to be looking at our bare bones budget based on just my statutory maternity leave, because I have a feeling that we're not going to be able to financially survive, and I'm going to have to return to work sooner rather than later. So watch out for that video. But yeah, this is why I kind of wanted to have the emergency fund in place. I want a maternity buffer that we can dip into should we need it, and that kind of thing. So I hope that all makes sense to you. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comment sections below. But please also remember that I am human, so please be kind with any comments that you do receive. I do like to see people's ideas on what we should be doing, but please word it in a way that doesn't come across as though you're being unkind, because there has been people, and I'm only human, I have feelings, and yeah, be kind. Thank you guys, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.